Thank you so much for everyone coming today, especially my guests. I really appreciate the support. I'm relatively new to this group compared to people that are veterans. I've heard stories, people coming here for 25 years, every Wednesday at 7 a.m. at the Cornell Club, which is inspiring. I thought I'd take this opportunity when I was asked if I want to do an interview or presentation to maybe do a little presentation about what I do, and also give it an opportunity to tell you a little bit more about myself. My life has gone in a lot of different directions, and I've definitely experienced things I didn't think I would experience growing up in Brooklyn. So just be patient. I'll go through as quickly as I could, and hopefully you all learn something new about me, even people that I know over 20 years in the room. So Dominick Ciccarelli, born and raised in Brooklyn, come from, if this is still a politically correct term, a blue-collar family. Most of my family were New York City firemen and cops. My father was actually in the military. My natural right in life was to be a fireman. Beat in my head since I was born that I was going to be a fireman here in New York City. Did take all of the city tests, but did have a talent of art as a young boy, and I enjoyed drawing. My summer vacations each year was my mom shipping me to Sag Harbor to hang out with her cousin for 2 weeks. My cousin was a contractor. I should say my mom's cousin was a contractor, and he lived a much more beautiful life than I did in Garrettson Beach, Brooklyn. He had a boat, he had a detached home, and I think he was a huge influence on me on maybe doing something more than what a lot of my family members had done in the past. Fast forward, my father, who was in the military, was relocated up to West Point, and we had to make a decision: do we move out of Brooklyn or move to West Point? And my mom, having hundreds of family members in Brooklyn, said, I'm not leaving the city, and we landed in Staten Island. So half my life was in Brooklyn, and then pretty much from high school on, I was in Staten Island. I went to the New York Institute of Technology for architecture. They have a campus here in Columbus Circle, and at the time, 2 campuses out in Long Island. And graduated, and shortly after, decided to open up an architectural practice. thinkDESIGN Architecture has been in business for 20 years. Started out in my 1-bedroom apartment in Bay Ridge. Shortly after, buying a building in Staten Island, and now fast forward 20 years, having an office in Red Bank and in Midtown Manhattan. Have about 15 employees. We do about 150 projects a year, which I'm going to get to in a moment. My parents weren't huge supporters of opening a business. A lot of risk, right? There's no guaranteed check or pension or medical insurance like in the police department and fire department world. And they beat into my head, what am I going to do for a pension and medical insurance if I'm not going to be a city employee? Which did have some merit, and I didn't want to work until I was dead. So I invested in some real estate. Started out with a 2-family home about 17 years ago, and have slowly grown a portfolio both locally here in New York and now along the East Coast of the United States. My partner here in New York is Eric Spezio, who you heard from earlier today. We have just about 100 units here, and about 4 years ago with Chris, we expanded down south, and we have almost 700 apartments down there. Over the years, we've opened up some ancillary businesses that supported the architecture and real estate ventures, some property management, a construction company, and I have an environmental business, which, as an asbestos investigator, every job in New York City that renovates needs to make sure there's no asbestos. During COVID, when we realized everybody could work from home, I decided that I didn't have enough on my plate, and I opened up another company called Team Builder Worldwide, which provides virtual assistance for US companies, basically people working remotely for a fraction of the cost of what a United States or a New York employee would cost you. So it's been a long journey. I never thought I'd be doing any of these things, and I'll get a little bit more tuned in to the architecture portion of what I do. Like I said, we have a team of about 15 people, 3 offices. We do a large range of work between residential, commercial, and manufacturing. In the city here, we do a lot of restaurants, a lot of condo, and co-op renovation. A little bit more about me, and what I didn't mention, was New York City suffered a disaster back in 2012, Hurricane Sandy. Being in the construction-related world and living in Brooklyn and Staten Island, hundreds and hundreds of our friends and families were affected by the storm and lost their homes. Myself and my architecture partner decided to open up a nonprofit organization called the Construct Relief Foundation. It's a 501c3 recognized nonprofit nationally. We got a lot of press, we raised a lot of money, and we were able to rebuild from scratch 15 homes for people living on Staten Island for free after they were vetted and we recognized they did have a true financial hardship. The Construct Relief Foundation was great, gave us a lot of news. We've since closed it because the need is not there anymore. Our office has probably built or helped rebuild 400 or 500 homes just affected by Hurricane Sandy in New York City between Brooklyn, Staten Island, and Queens. Mentioned earlier, I did start a podcast last year with a co-host of mine who's a commercial real estate broker, Rob Nixon. We have a episode that comes out every other Thursday. It's a real estate focused podcast on anyone that wants to get into the real estate game. We teach people about different real estate assets, how to manage real estate, how to build the right team, get the right accountant, get the right lawyer, get the right property manager. A lot of people in this room have actually been guests of our podcast, including latest yesterday, Aaron and Jeff. If you want to learn more about the podcast, it's a fun little episode that comes out every 2 weeks. It's around 35 minutes long, and we're having a good time doing it. In New York City, everyone thinks architects just design really pretty plans, or homes or restaurants. The truth of the matter is that's about 20% of our work. New York has made it so hard to obtain permits and have created so much red tape that, speaking of acronyms, we probably have to file with 9 or 10 different city agencies just to get you a simple permit. And this is where we found our niche in the market. A lot of architects just design you that pretty plan and wish you luck and move on, where we actually have mastered the bureaucracy and how to navigate these city agencies. So, to isolate some of you, I work with LPC, HPD, DOB, CPC. So a typical project to get approved, let's just say in Brooklyn or Staten Island for a ground-up construction, we have to file with the borough president, maybe the Landmark Preservation Commission, Department of Buildings, Department of Transportation, Department of Environmental Protection. It's extremely, extremely complicated. And if your architect doesn't hold your hand, you're probably not going to get it done for a few years just to get a permit. And this is where we've really excelled. These are some of the other services we offer. We do a lot of landmark restoration work here in the city. Okay, so we'll get into the fun, maybe project design stuff, and then I'll get into the boring bureaucracy of the city of New York. This is just a picture of a few restaurants we've designed throughout the city. This is a very real estate heavy focused group. And I'm terrible at taking photos of our completed work. So full disclosure, I stole a lot of photos from Zillow. And I put some numbers on here as far as sales, because I know everyone in real estate loves money. Okay, Henry Street, downtown Brooklyn. This was a 4-story, 4-family townhouse. We gutted it, converted it to a 1-family, sold 3 months ago for $7 million. It's a beautiful, spectacular home. A lot of work in Carroll Gardens is converting these multifamily buildings back to 1-families. This was a 3-family townhouse also in downtown Brooklyn, and we created a condo. This is just one of the 3 condos in the building. This is a custom home in Staten Island. Just a detached 1-family. A lot of people think of Staten Island who roll through Staten Island. There's a lot of cookie cutter developments where every house looks the same. That's something we definitely do not do in our office. Another condo in Brooklyn. This one sold for $3.5 million. Second place. Again, this is another one of those stories where we had a 4-family, 4-story walk-up. Gutted it, made it a 1-family home. This one sold for over $6 million. This is another custom home on Staten Island. You could see some of the finishes we do. You can see that we do a diverse type of work. We can do some traditional architecture, some modern architecture. This is a Mediterranean-style home that we designed with a courtyard and a pool. Sold for about $2.5 million. Okay, now for the work that's not sexy in New York City, and these are those acronyms. Because it's so difficult to get projects approved, typically by the time the job is finished, everyone is so frustrated and broke, they just want to move into their home. And because of that, they don't close out permits. Jay Zimner calls me almost every single day. A lot of you real estate agents and brokers here are starting to call me because you're trying to sell a property and you can't because there's an open permit. Very few people know how to go back to the 90s and figure out how to close out these old permits. These are some of the websites I teach people how to use before they actually take on a listing to see how much trouble they're going to have selling the property because of the red tape the City of New York has created. Now, I won't bore you and click through all these, but just to give you an idea of how much the city spends on trying to navigate this stuff, and now, of course, it won't work. Let's see. Here we go. So the City of New York has spent about, I don't know, $70 million creating a website for the Parks Department. And I'm going to just type in an address, just a random address.
70?
Yes. Every single tree in the City of New York has been documented. Not only that, okay? Not only that, look at these trees, guys. Just to blow your mind of like what we're dealing with here. I'm just going to click on a random tree. if it allows me. Okay. So, why is this important, right? This is a pear tree. It gives you the address it's in front of. It has an ID number. It's 13 inches in diameter. But wait, it doesn't end from there. They document every single time the tree is inspected. A forester went out there on June 7th, 2021 to prune the tree. Why is this important? Over the years, the Parks Department has become more powerful than the mayor of New York. Buildings can't be built in this city because trees are blocking access to the site. If you want to take down this tree, which they're saying is 13 inches, it probably cost you about $80,000 because the city is saying they own the tree and they've been maintaining it since it was planted. So listen, I can go on for hours and hours about this subject, but this is just a tiny little snippet of what I have to deal with when trying to get something approved for the City of New York. There's also, just for fun, I'm going to wrap up, but there's also a rat map here in the City of New York. The city monitors rats throughout the city, so if you move into a new neighborhood and you want to see how bad the rat problem is, you can click on this map and get a good idea.
Can you click on it?
These are some images of our team. I really thank you all for coming. I wouldn't be anywhere I am today without my team. Today you met three of our my key employees who will hopefully take thinkDESIGN architecture into the future so I can actually focus on everything else I have going on. If any of you have any questions, I'm here to help, and hopefully you learned something new about me today. Yes, sir.